Good morning, my YouTube viewers. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to perform a time series analysis on scheduling train services by analyzing passenger demand. And we're going to write a program in Python to do that. So before we can write the program in Python, what we need to do is we need to import some libraries that are needed to actually execute the program. So the first library that we're going to import is going to be NumPy as NP, which is a numerical library that also creates NumPy arrays. The second library that we're going to import is going to be Pandas in PD, which is a data processing library that creates data frames and series. And the third library that we're going to import is matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, which is the visualization library. So now, after we've imported our libraries, then what we're going to want to do is simulate passenger demand, e.g. hourly demand over a week. So the first thing that we want to do in that regard is to set our seed. And the reason why you set your seed is so every time you execute the program, the values are initialized the same every time. So you set your seed by typing np.random.seed, and you can type any number you want inside the brackets. And hours equals pd.daterange, brackets, start equals 2023-010100, comma, end equals 2023-0107-2300, and the frequency is hours. So it's going to be a week of hourly data. So your base demand equals np.random.Poisson. So Poisson means it's going to be a Poisson distribution, brackets 50, comma, Lin hours. And it's based hourly demand on a Poisson distribution. So your peak hours equals brackets hour dot hour greater than or equal to 7 and hours dot hour less than or equal to 9, or hours dot hours greater than or equal to 17 and hours dot hour less than or equal to 19. So that's morning and evening peak values. So additional peak demand equals peak hours times np.random.Poisson, brackets 30, comma, Lin hours. So that's extra demand during peak hours. And passenger demand equals base demand plus additional peak demand. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use Pandas to create a data frame for passenger demand. So demand data equals pd.dataframe, brackets, curly brackets, hour, colon, hours, comma, passenger demand, colon, passenger demand. And then so what that has done is that created a data frame where the hours are the first column or column number 0, and passenger demand is the second column or column number 1. But what we're going to do is we're going to set the hours to the index. And then, so that's demand data dot set index, brackets hour, comma, in place equals true. So that means your hour is your index and your passenger demand is the only column in the data frame. So now we're going to schedule the train services based on demand. So demand data, square bracket, schedule data equals np.seal, brackets, demand data, square brackets, demand data divided by 50, brackets, dot as type end. So we're going to plot the passenger demand and scheduled trains, plt.figure, brackets, fig size equals 6, 4. We're going to plot the passenger demand, plt.plot, brackets, demand data dot index, comma, demand data, square brackets, demand, passenger demand, comma, label equals passenger demand, comma, color equals blue, comma, alpha equals 0.7. So we're going to plot the scheduled trains, plt.plot brackets demand data dot index, comma, demand data, square brackets scheduled trains times 50, comma, label equals scheduled train capacity, comma, color equals orange, comma, line style equals dash. So we're going to highlight the peak hours, plt.fill between brackets demand data dot index, comma, 0, comma, demand data square brackets passenger demand, comma, where equals peak hours, comma, color equals gray, comma, alpha equals 0.3, comma, label equals peak hours. So we're going to add labels, title, and a legend. So the title is passenger demand and train scheduling. The X label is hour. Y label is passenger count. You get a legend and then you get a grid. And then we're going to plot it. So it's going to be plt.type layout and plt.show. So this is it. This is a passenger demand and train scheduling. So you can see blue is your passenger demand, and then orange is your scheduled train capacity, and gray is your peak hours. So that concludes the video on passenger demand and train scheduling, and that also concludes the video on time series analysis. The next section we're going to be working on is non-parametric testing, so that's going to be really interesting too, and I hope you decide to watch that section as well. Thank you.